Hello. This video is brought to you by the fine people.
Ooh, look at that!
Welcome to the sun-drenched tropical paradise of Isle Delfino. We're so pleased to welcome you to our beautiful home. Come enjoy a natural wonderland to which we've added the world's finest resort facilities, a spectacular amusement park, and succulent seafood. All this and more await you on Isle Delfino. Come relax and let us refresh
Is this
your
game
body
audio too
and
quiet?
spirit.
I have it turned down pretty low.
Mario?
Too loud or how? Literally fucking how? There's no way. I don't believe you.
That
What?
Hold on, I'm screaming at my chat. Because what they're saying is not making any sense. Dude, every single stream, somebody tells me that I'm too quiet, and I turn up the mic. Which means that, like, it only is trending towards louder. There's no way that it's quieter every time. Let me check the OBS settings just to be sure. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. How is it now? Is it still quiet?
Yeah, how am I sounding?
I don't know. You sound fine to me. It seems fine now. It's because it was fine the whole time. All right.
The joke's on you. He didn't even change it.
God, I should have done that. That would have been funny. I'm gonna start doing that.
I know, I'm hilarious.
I'm gonna start fucking making like no adjustments and then being like, alright, is it fine now? And then when you all say yes, I'm gonna fucking ban you. That's how I'm gonna trick people. Can I skip this cutscene? We don't need to see the... I think this cutscene actually is unskippable. Cause don't they go through it in speedruns?
What happened?
Dude, it's always time for more food-based rants. Which one are we going on today? How
By the
about
way-
those airline peanuts?
By the way, that's not an audio glitch. They just had sections of the game where Mario's mouth moves and there's no voice. I think they probably like wanted to give him a voice, but then pushed out last second.
Excuse me.
Peach took too many Benadryls and is seeing the shadow people.
Me too.
Dude, I'm not gonna do the corn rant again. I've talked about the corn rant so many times. If you want the corn rant, just go back and clip the podcast, alright?
Yeah. Pick something new. We all know corn sucks.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about this, Mario.
I bought a dragon fruit.
I've never had a dragon
And,
in my life.
It literally had, like, no flavor, and I think if I didn't buy it from Hagen, it probably would have flavor.
Yeah, sometimes that like mass-produced fruit is a little
Mhm.
weird. Oh my god, can I get into settings? No, this is a Nintendo game, of course not. This fucking camera's inverted. Killing me. Cake is gross. It depends on the cake. You can have good cakes.
I'm for the argument that cake is gross, but, like, there have been times where I've tasted a cake that isn't bad.
Subject identified as Mario.
Emma is also the pickiest eater, arguably on planet Earth, so I don't know if her opinion on food counts.
Dude, you haven't seen my sister then. My sister will only eat mac and cheese. If it's not mac and cheese, she doesn't eat it.
Well, tell your sister to enjoy her intestinal dysfunction here in about 5 years.
Press the R button all the way down. You can stop
Gonna
and
be
see.
alive.
You can
Oh,
manually
shut up.
control stick to aim in any direction.
Whoa.
I've adopted my sister's friend. Like, she was her friend, but now she's my friend.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the way your dad didn't even knock on the door?
I think what happened, I think it was just weird timing where you opened the door and he was like, he got there at the same time. Because he
because Blake, who picked me up, when she pulled up, she said he was standing there and it took me like 2 minutes to get out there. So for 2 minutes, he was already standing there when she got there.
Maybe he might have called me or something. I don't remember if I had my phone on.
Yeah, well, I opened it and I didn't know what to say. My social anxiety, I wasn't going to be like, hey, what are you doing here? So I was just awkwardly just like, hey, Jacob, there's someone at the door. And he's like, I'm Jacob's dad.
Yeah. Well, now you know what he looks like. Now you believe me when I say that he looks like he just came off of a mountain.
He does look like he just came off of a mountain.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
He's pretty cool from what I've seen. I haven't hung out with him a lot, but
Yeah, my dad's pretty chill.
it takes a special kind of guy who can spend his youth disappearing into the woods for like months at a time during a summer vacation.
So here's a fun fact about my dad. Between probably about the age of 13 and like 18, so like middle school, high school, when summer rolled around, my dad would literally like get his friends, pack a gun, some flour, and some salt, and literally just go live in the woods in a tent for like 30 days at a time. And then he would like come back, check in on his mom, hang out for a little while, and load up and go back out again. Like, just genuinely doing like fucking just forest people shit.
Well, he does seem like a forest people.
Yeah.
Hi, Jacob.
Who's that? Is that Sarah?
Yeah.
Quite an unusual device. Is it some sort of pump?
No, I don't really care about people DMing me on Discord. If I did, I would I'm sure you can close Discord DMs. I'd do that. Dude, this part of this game always fucking made me laugh. So, the core premise is that Mario gets framed for all of the vandalism, and they sentence him to, like, clean up the goo. So, like, his sentence for committing a crime is he gets to fly around a tropical paradise with a water jetpack. That's supposed to be his punishment.
Yeah, that sounds pretty harsh.
Yeah, it would suck if I had to do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine a worse punishment, dude.
Open the doors, the FBI! We've seen all the hard drives, we've got the jetpack.
Dude, I had a dream last night. Okay, this is kind of weird. I had a dream last night that me and a couple other people that I don't really talk to anymore got busted for like a $1.2 million drug ring.
That's such a specific number.
Because it was said so many times in my dream. And for some reason, before we went to prison, we had to go get like teeth removed. Like we all had to have our molars removed.
Yeah.
And so we're all like this dentist all at once, and we'd go one at a time back and have our teeth removed. And we were all sitting in chairs recovering from having our molars removed. It was fucking weird.
That's like, that's a very, you had like 3 different types of anxiety dreams, like all in one dream. That's pretty incredible. That was like the full suite.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck?
I'm pretty susceptible to having like fucked up teeth dreams. That's like people will talk about how they have like the naked in public dream, or the being chased by something dream, or the falling dream. And there's also people that have like dreams about their teeth getting fucked up, and I seem to be susceptible to teeth nightmares more than anything else.
Yeah, I think I can only remember one nightmare where I had a dream that I was naked, but I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because I'm always naked. But
Yeah.
no, I'm not naked right now, don't believe her. I had a dream once that I got curb stomped,
Yeah.
but I couldn't feel anything, like I couldn't feel the injury.
Yeah.
So I was just walking around with like my jaw hanging and loosely like swinging in the wind with blood and teeth just like hanging everywhere.
Yeah, it's weird when you have nightmares where you get like horrifically injured and you like are just like, this seems fine.
Appetite. It smells like weed though.
It smells like PBG bug. That's what it smells like.
I love unskippable cutscenes.
We should have more of them in every game.
G-Suave, I think you're onto something with that. That's an extremely creative and unique idea. I haven't seen anything. Actually, wasn't it you in my Discord the other day who said, what if Mario was getting the 1-up mushrooms, but the mushrooms were drugs? Do you remember that? That was also really new. I had never heard anybody say that before.
Every time you hit a mushroom, the screen just gets a little bit more fucked up. Things start flying everywhere and colors start flashing.
Yeah, this is all very, 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 sort of new ground. Oh, there's the other button right there.
God, something that has always fucked me up is like pictures or videos where it's like what people like having a stroke see, because like everything's like looks familiar, but like you can't recognize everything. So like the pictures just make you feel like you're going crazy. Like when you look at them.
I've never actually looked at one of those before.
So when
Dude, I'll send you some.
that night, that's what I was felt like Noah's room didn't look like Noah's room. Like it was, it was his room.
Yeah, it's similar to that feeling, but it's a little bit different. Like
More like a video game.
I'm having a stroke right now.
I
suffer from a rare condition where I'm
You remember when my eyes kept doing the stroke thing?
Yeah, that was weird. Did that stop?
Yeah, it hasn't happened in a while.
I have a rare genetic condition where I'm constantly stroking out just by no fault of my own.
God, have you seen that one? There's a fucking BuzzFeed or something did a story on this lady who like has a condition where she's always orgasming.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have conditions similar to that.
It's not even real, dude. The female orgasm doesn't exist.
Yeah, if you have them at all as a woman, you have to go to the doctor. Yeah, AI art definitely is like exists now, and it's good. I don't know what like the downstream consequences of that are going to be, but AI generated art is like unironically really good now, which is kind of fucked up.
Well, what's really annoying about it is that a lot of these art AI, the way that they feed them a whole bunch of art is by just taking like basically screen capping art from artists and then like
just stealing it.
Just stealing it and shoving it into an algorithm. And people are like, oh man, AI is creating all this great art. It's like, oh really?
Yeah.
AI is doing it. AI is creating the initial source art. AI is stealing the art. AI is like...
This is the exact same problem with, fuck, I'm gonna have to adjust. So obviously, I'm playing this on an official Nintendo GameCube console. That's not up for debate. But, for reasons that are totally unrelated to playing this on an official GameCube Nintendo console, I might need to go in and mess a little bit with, the trigger sensitivity. I'm gonna have to open up the controller and do it manually. Just don't worry about why any of this is happening.
Well, now I'm gonna worry.
I think it's a very Japanese thing to have the entire point of the game be time to do a public service, young man. You messed up.
That is very funny. What do you think? I would be really interested to know what prisons are like in Japan. Like, if you murder somebody and you got to go to like maximum security Japanese prison, what's going on there? What does that look like?
They probably have actually nutritious food.
Well, yeah, that's
well, I mean, it's not really fair to compare them to American prisons because we have some of the worst prisons in the world without going full gulag.
Just by virtue of like the normal diet in Japan, they're going to have nutritious food just because like the fish and rice are more nutritious than like the average shit Americans eat anyway.
No, Japan has a legit 99% incarceration rate, apparently.
What the fuck what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure those who commit crimes are incarcerated. I don't know. That's what I would guess.
I wonder why that's the case, if that's the case.
So
yeah,
if you get
I wonder
into
if it has anything to do
are you
with
saying that like
the
if you
US
commit
cops and the stuff.
I bet you it's because like by the time you get to trial, you've done something that's like actually fucked. Would be my guess.
Oh, the conviction rate. I see.
Tim, do you have any weird food-based hang-ups?
Dude, the list is so long.
No, I'm just a big texture guy. If a food has bad texture, I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah, but that
Okay,
manifests itself as
You
like a
like
couple
mashed
of things that are
potatoes?
insane. What?
I was asking Tim if he likes mashed potatoes, if he's a texture guy.
Mashed potatoes are very good.
See, my brother's a texture guy, but he can't eat mashed potatoes. He doesn't unless they have like chunks in it.
Okay, well, hold on. Jacob is gonna have to specify what he means by weird hang-ups, like examples of it, because to me, none of these hang-ups are weird.
Whenever I'm remembering insane things that you do, I can never manifest a list just off the top of my head. But
Geez,
I
well,
recognize it's like
I
that
have-
one time. Remember when we
You
were
know what
talking
that
about
sounds
how
like to my autistic brain, right?
yeah.
It just sounds like you don't actually have any proof.
Like,
you just think I'm weird.
remember how we had this same conversation about like your taste in movies, and I was like,
Yeah.
your taste in movies is fucking unreal, and then we like were sitting there thinking about it, and then we kind of
Yeah, and
figured
then
it out.
I
I've got-
literally had a list of all my favorite movies, and I went through them all, and like 99% of the time, you were like, "Yeah, that's normal."
Well, and then
That's
what the thing that we decided on was that it's not your taste in movies, it's like the degree to which you enjoy them. Right, because I am thinking about Pacific Rim, and I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty sick movie. You know, it's a fucking cool like kaiju mech movie, pretty dope. Not really
Right.
anything else like it. But you're like, Pacific Rim is the greatest film of all time. So like that, like it's
Are you
like the
talking about
degree
the
to which you
series
like
on
or dislike
Netflix?
things.
Have you seen the Pacific Rim series on Netflix? Is that what
No.
you're referring to, or no?
No,
we're
the
talking-
movie. The movie. I have
original.
not yet seen the series. I want to watch the series. I haven't gotten
Dude, the
around to it yet.
series is so good. I've rewatched it a couple times.
But
Aren't
okay,
there a couple movies that? Okay, so Pacific Rim: The Black. Aren't there a couple? Like, is the anime? Aren't there a couple movies about it?
yeah, the anime is a piece of media based off of a movie called Pacific Rim, and then another movie called Pacific Rim 2.
Wait, did Emma not
What?
know that?
I
That's
think
wild.
there's 3 movies though.
Maybe.
Not to my knowledge. There's
I feel
not
like
3
Tim would
movies.
definitely know if there was a third Pacific Rim.
There's not 3 movies. There's 2 movies. There's Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising. And then there's Pacific
Oh,
Rim the
you're
Black,
right.
which I've
Okay.
not yet gotten
The
up to
Pacific
watching.
Rim Uprising is the one with the chick who builds her own.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I don't know why I thought there was 3.
Oh, hey, Tim, do you have autism? May have discussed this on stream. Yes, we're pretty sure. I've not been officially diagnosed,
Yeah,
but
this has
everyone in
not
my
been-
life says I do, including my own parents.
This has not been medically recognized or diagnosed, but boy, I'd bet my life savings on it.
Yeah.
It's the same way that I haven't been diagnosed or recognized, medically acknowledged that I have ADHD, but like,
Yeah,
I have
definitely.
ADHD.
I actually
like-
have medically recognized dyslexia, so I don't want to hear any ableist shit about me not being able to tell left from right, okay? I have a disability.
Yeah, no, the moment that even I came out to my parents and told them, like, hey guys, so my friends and I have been looking into it, and there's like a chance I might be autistic, and my dad's immediate response was, oh yeah, I knew that.
I cannot fucking believe it. It is shocking to me that you made it through all of middle school and high school without somebody being like, Tim, are you a little autistic? Like,
Yeah, Tim, why are you such a fucking weirdo, my man?
It never happened. That's so crazy, dude.
Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I think it's just because I have a high charisma and like I don't remember. This may sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but this is just how I remember things.
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody in middle school or high school earnestly disliking me.
Yeah, it's probably just that you're relatively likable, and also, like, the friends that you picked were probably, like, also just relatively, like, weird dudes, because, like, that's the type of people that we're all friends with.
Like, I even was friends with a few, like, people in, like, the really, like, the, like, stereotypically, like, preppy kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the few times that I interacted with them, I was really, like, friendly with all of them. Like, there was never a single person that I can remember in high school, or middle school, interacting with, and then we walked away going like, man, I hate that guy.
Damn it.
Boy, let me
I
tell
just didn't
you,
happen.
Yeah.
My experience was the complete opposite.
Yeah, our graduating class, and really most of me and Tim are a year apart, but my graduating class and the graduating classes sort of directly surrounding it were all like extremely chilled out.
Yeah.
Curtis was 3 years ahead of us, and it was almost like he was going to high school on an alien planet, even though he was in the exact same school. Like, it's fucking crazy the difference that like 3 years made.
It really, it's pretty wild.
Imagine the difference in the years between when you graduated and my graduating
I cannot
class.
even imagine what it was like going to high school in the fucking age of Zoomers. Like, I don't even want to fucking know. I'm not interested in finding out.
That
It's
actually
not
sounds like it was probably
fun.
fucking hellish.
Dude, it is. Why do you think my sister dropped out, dude?
Yeah.
In my personal experience, Zoomers really go in one of two directions. It's either like really wholesome kids like Logan and Ink, and like Chase, or it's fucking hellish shitholes that I wish I never met again.
Yeah. Hold
Like,
on,
there's
Jacob. Let
no
me
in between.
explain you a little bit in a different way that might make you understand better. Not only did my sister drop out, but my mom was okay with it.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, dude. That shit must have been wild, then.
Dude, it's actually really weird to think about that when I told my parents I think I might be autistic, my dad was just like, yeah. Like...
What do you mean? You didn't know?
Yeah, like, you didn't know? Like, because my dad's not the kind of guy who, like, knows about mental illness, like, mental, like, conditions.
The other thing about it, too, is that your autism is extremely high functioning. So it's like, well, he has a job and is, like, getting good grades or whatever, and, like, you can't, like, I don't...
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be an issue, really.
Yeah, no, Antros, I wasn't the cringe lord. I was a theater kid, and I was on multiple, like, really well-loved stage productions, and I think that might have also been something to do with why I was pretty well-liked. I don't have bad interactions with people that often, and also, my school really appreciated our theater kids.
I mean, our school's, like, technical and art departments were pretty nuts. Like, our high school is genuinely absurd in a lot of ways. That, like, okay, let me start listing off things. And bear in mind, we're not in, like, a rich part of Washington. We're in, like, small town, normal ass, like, the average income of our town is $15,000 a year. Okay? We're, like, not in a rich area. Let me start listing off things that were at our high school. A full-service, at least 2-car automotive garage. A professional-level kitchen that you could literally run a restaurant out of if you had to. 3 gigantic computer labs, 2 of them IT labs with probably 3 dozen PCs, and the other one a multimedia lab with Macs. A full-sized fucking, like, stage auditorium that could seat, like, a few hundred people.
It was a 300-seat auditorium.
Yeah, What am I missing? Oh, a fully functional fucking wood shop by the automotive shop. Like, this is the type of shit that we had going on. It's absurd how good our high school was
Now, hold on,
based
guys.
on, like, where it is.
There's a reason. I'm not going to dox us, but I am going to give you guys some information as to why our high school was as fucking slick as it was.
We have royalty here.
We have what is effectively Washington State capitalist royalty living in our town. And because of that, their kids go to our school. So this pair of families that owns almost literally like half the town has poured a ton of money into the school district because they want to make sure their kids go to a good school. And instead of sending their kids to a good school far away, they decided that they were going to make our school good.
I mean, that is one of the good things I will say about this particular family lineage that we're talking about, is that actually semi-based of them to try to make the community better instead of just fucking off to like Bellevue, which they easily could have done.
Yeah.
I feel like our schools, like, I don't know, direction changed. Like, yeah, we still had all that stuff when I was in high school, but it was like not very big for kids to be a part of drama and theater and all that. It was more focused towards sports while I was in high school.
Yeah, well, that transition had started to occur when our class was graduating, and I was extremely fucking critical of it the entire time that it was happening.
I don't remember what we received a donation for, but we received a very large donation towards our school, and we spent it on a jumbotron.
Hell yeah, brother. I remember one time when I was I think this was a couple of years after I graduated, they got a gigantic grant that they were only allowed to use for beautification projects. But on a technicality, redoing the entire football field counted as a beautification project.
Oh, yeah.
So...
It's a nice field, dude.
Yeah. So they fucking used that whole grant to redo the entire football field, because that's the only fucking thing that brings in money. So, Nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh, dude. While I was in high school, there was where one of the high schoolers, got drunk, drove his truck through the fence onto our brand new football field.
That
guy rocks.
And fucked it all up.
That guy rocks.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I would never advocate that somebody does that, but if they do it, it is funny. You know what I mean?
It is very funny to me that it is kind of the American response. We're like, yeah, this guy like drunk drove his vehicle literally onto school property, and we're all like, dope.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want me to do with that information? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he shouldn't have done it.
I agree.
He shouldn't have done it, but he already did it, and it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I absolutely agree. Like, he probably shouldn't have done it, but he did, and it rocks. So,
yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, we might as well not dwell in the past. We'll just laugh about it in the future.
Yeah, it's done, dog.
I'm not crying.
It happened, and it's awesome.
Can I get up this right here? Hell yeah, brother. I didn't read the name of the star. Is this the first blooper one? Yeah, it is.
I cannot express to you guys how excited I am for Darktide. Holy shit.
Which one is Darktide?
Darktide is a game coming out soon that is Vermintide. It's made by the same guys who do Vermintide, except that you play as a bunch of guardsmen in 40k.
Oh, right.
And like deep and under
What
hive.
is my grab button?
So excited.
Button. This is my jump button. This is my camera button.
I'm gonna get my flashlight and shoot some heretics.
What is this, dude?
It's gonna be great.
Tim, you really gotta watch Pacific Rim the Black because the second season comes out on the 19th.
I mean, I'm going to. I'm gonna watch it soon. I'm gonna get around to it. You know what I mean?
We're going through.
I just started showing Amanda and Jacob the Clone Wars, so like we gotta finish that first.
God, dude, I'm so excited. I've been waiting. I finished it. It was one of those shows where I told myself I'm gonna kind of pace myself so that I don't like finish it immediately and have to wait a year for the second season. And I am so pumped, dude. I finished it in a night.
Wait, the Pacific Rim show?
Yeah.
Pretty dope. On to us, Tim, what's the best Warhammer video games? I know a lot of them are mid. Unfortunately, a lot of them are mid.
Yeah.
When you say Warhammer, do you mean Warhammer Fantasy or 40k? Because, you know what, I'll give you answers for both of them. Vermintide 2 is pretty good.
I was hoping that I could get away with
game
this without pulling off the tentacles, but I think we're gonna have to suck it up.
The Total War Warhammer Fantasy games are also really good. If you're into Total War, I know that's like a genre thing. Some people just don't like it, and that's fine. Warhammer Armageddon is really good if you like really simple, like basically tabletop simulation style games.
Wait, I think I need to
because that is kind of what it is, but Armageddon's all right for that. Dawn of War 2 is an RTS, but it's more like small unit tactics, and it's fine, you know. It's got some really good mods. Space Marine, someone brought up Space Marine, is also fine if you like the Space Marines. It's pretty neat. There's a couple of mods you can get for it that change the gameplay to make it more like lore accurate. And if you play the game, I would suggest playing it with those mods because the default experience is like fine, I guess, but it's whatever. It's a video game, so it's not like super lore accurate. Is there a Tyranid game because they make me horny? No, but Space Marine 2 Tyranids are going to be the Space Marine 2 game that's coming out soon. Tyranids are going to be the main enemy for that.
What was the first-person shooter that came out recently? Because that one got pretty. I mean, like, not.
Oh, do you mean Gun for Hire?
Yeah, nobody with Necromunda. Nobody was like losing their mind over it, but it got relatively positive reviews across the board.
Is the AdMech Tactics game any good? I think it's fine. It's not my favorite game, but it works. It also, however, have honorable mention. It has a fantastic soundtrack. The soundtrack in the AdMech, like even if you don't play the game, looking up the soundtrack for that game in itself is a reward for your ears, and you owe it to yourself to do it.
Yeah, the Mandalore in the Mandalore gaming review, he had a pretty fucking positive opinion of Adeptus Mechanicus.
The soundtrack is wild, and yeah, I do remember that as well. Mandalore had a lot of good to say about the game.
And he has played probably every Warhammer 40,000 game ever made, and probably at least one that wasn't made. So,
yeah, if any of you guys have the game Squad, it's like a realistic shooter sim. There's at least one 40K mod for Squad.
Oh, speaking of shooter sims, I guess, kind of. XCOM 2 is going to be free on the Epic Game Store here soon.
Oh fuck, you guys got to play that.
It's coming up in the free game rotation.
XCOM 2 shreds. You guys over to you. You want to play a good 40K game? No. Just play XCOM 2 and pretend you're in 40K, dude. It works. Space Hulk. Yeah, Space Hulk Deathwing is fun, but Snake, I would argue that if you play by yourself, don't touch that game with a 10-foot pole. It's one of those weird games where it's a nightmare by yourself, but if you play it with the boys, it very suddenly becomes one of the best games you've ever touched.
Yeah, a lot of games are like that. Hello, my friend.
I hated playing it by myself, but I played it with a couple of friends, and it was excellent.
Oh, I thought I had to talk to this guy, but I guess not. Is this the one where I go into the cave?
Man, remember when XCOM put out... No, XCOM did not put out a first-person shooter. XCOM put out a third-person shooter, and it sucked.
Is that the Bureau?
Yeah, that's the Bureau.
I should do a video on that one because they hired Nick Pope to like be a consultant on UFO conspiracy lore. So like there might be something that I can get out of that video, especially if the game is bad. Because if they just like missed the mark and fucked up what they were trying to do, and I completely like if I understand the vibe correctly, they were trying to do some like X-Files, but like Max Payne or something along those lines. If they were trying to like do that, but they fucked it up. I would have a lot of words about that.
Poppy Peppy is also correct about that. Divine Cybermancy is basically a 40K game, and it's also very good and worth playing, but it is Euro jank as all hell.
The way that I describe Divine Cybermancy is that it's the only game ever made that actually was improved by the fact that it wasn't finished. That's happened exactly once in video game history, and it was with I.
Like, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to wrap your mind around I, but if you can do it, cool boy.
Just the first time you play it, just don't even like try to figure it out. Don't try to like learn the stats. Don't try to figure out what you're doing in character customization. Just like go wild.
Just vibe.
Dark Void is bad. Don't talk about it in my chat.
Yeah, Dark Void is
Dark Void is fucking awful.
Dark Void is actually the only time. So like I've been in contact with Jacob. We've been like in touch and good friends throughout the vast majority of his like we got back in touch after high school and after I came back home from college. Like really early in his YouTube career. Like really early. I think by the time he started posting again, we were already hanging out. Dark Void is the only video that he ever was making where I was afraid that he was going to just give up.
Dude, I've come close a bunch of times, but Dark Void is just one of the more notable ones.
Like, it's wild. If you guys also want more good 40k stuff, this is a weird suggestion, but you can play Stellaris, and if you want to like roleplay as like the Imperium of Man, it's really not hard. Like, there are even like mods and pre-done save files that give you like a custom like Imperium of Man like faction to play as. Like, it's really not difficult.
Is this one of the ones where you don't get the jetpack anymore? By the way, I mean, this has been said 100 times. Absolutely unhinged that they didn't give you the long jump in this one. Especially for, like, I can understand not giving you the long jump while you've got the jetpack on. But the fact that they still don't give you the long jump when you're in, like, the platforming sections is crazy. Or I should say, like, the like, hard platforming section. Because obviously the entire game is a platforming section.
Also, Antros, Snake is correct there. If you're into 3D printing at all, then there are a lot of semi-legal sources for, like, really good 3D prints of, like, 40k models. If you want to just get into the modeling.
Semi-legal is my favorite kind of legal.
Yeah, exactly, dog. It's the best. Thinking out loud, I'm kind of just going through my games right now. I'm thinking if any other ones give me good 40k vibes. Running with rifles is a good, like, Imperial Guard type game, even though it's not literally 40k.
I swear to God I can meme this. I might have to do a walking call. Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah, Necromunda Hired Gun came out pretty recently, and it's all right. It's pretty good. It definitely gets the vibes right. The team that made it is the same team that made I Divine Cybermancy, and they very clearly understand 40k from, like, a vibes perspective.
Yeah. Stroma, I think is what they're called. They're French.
Yeah. Which one has the Zerg and Space Marines in blue armor? StarCraft.
Bermuda Triangle woke. Hollow Earth woke. I agree.
If I remember right, StarCraft started as a 40k game. That's a rumor I've heard a million times. I don't know if it's true, though.
It's absolutely true. The Protoss were Eldar, the Tyranids were the
Zerg were Tyranids.
Zerg were Tyranids, and the Terrans were Space Marines. Or I guess the Imperium.
Spyro do be a 40k-esque series. Do you mean Spyro the Dragon? Are you making fun of me? Or am I missing something?
I think he's just doing a meme.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
I feel like I'm being
Sonic the
made fun
Hedgehog do be a 40k-ass series. When are we gonna get gritty Sonic the Hedgehog? I think the Sonic team is too self-aware to do that, but can you imagine how funny it would be?
Jacob,
yeah.
They did that already. It was called Shadow the Hedgehog, and it wasn't very good.
Okay, but Shadow the Hedgehog was sort of like... It was, like, gritty in the way that, like, a semi-edgy Saturday morning cartoon would be gritty. It was, like, gritty in the way that the Batman animated series is gritty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I mean, I want them to, like, really lean into the meme here.
Got a meme on Tim at least once a stream. Yeah, the best part is I can't always tell when it's happening. I'm usually a little bit late when I'm usually a little bit late to the joke when I'm directly being made fun of. I know it sounds like a meme, but if you guys... Helldivers you guys are probably a little late to play it. It's definitely a dead game now, but, like, it was very clearly made with 40k vibes in mind.
I think I almost did a video on that game.
I have it. If you wanted to do it, I would play it with you, but, like...
No, there's got to be a reason why I didn't do it.
I mean, it's basically just Magicka but sci-fi. It's even made by the same guys.
Yeah. Magicka was fun.
Yeah. I mean, Helldivers was fun. I enjoyed it.
The only thing about Magicka that sucks is that they bit off a little bit more than they could chew in terms of the control scheme. So the control scheme is just sort of insane.
Well, Helldivers kind of mirrors that to a degree because Helldivers has the same thing where, like, you have to memorize inputs and do them rapid fire to do spells, but because it's sci-fi, they're not spells. It's like you on the radio, like, calling in airstrikes and shit.
Yeah.
but like mechanically it works exactly the same as like Magicka's like
Dude, I wish
rapid
that
input spells.
I wish that ghost hunting game that fucked me would have been good.
It looked like it would have been really sick if they actually weren't a scheme.
What was it called? I mean, they weren't a scheme. They just did the same thing that every developer does, which is...
it was called like Hell something.
Yeah, it was Hell something. Somebody's gonna remember, I'm sure. Let me into the melting castle, please. Hell sign, yeah, that's the one. I mean, I should have known that project was going to collapse when I saw how shitty that game's writing was. That should have been a pretty good indication that I was dealing with dum-dums. Australian and bad at writing? I don't know. You're speaking arguably the best version of English and your writing sucks this bad? I don't know.
I mean, it's not a very 40k game, but I'm going to suggest Far Cry 2 anytime I get to suggest video games.
Yeah, Far Cry 2 is kind of the ultimate Far Cry.
Australian English is just saying cunt over and over again. Yeah, basically. I mean, but that's why it's awesome.
That's part of the charm. Once again, anytime Australia gets brought up, I'm once again recommending the Big Les show.
Frenchfoot is a series of Doom mods that are super inspired by Warhammer. That sounds awesome.
Which
actually?
Are we talking about Doom 2 here? Where are we going with this?
Yeah, which Doom? But that sounds awesome either way. I'm gonna fucking look that up on YouTube in a second. I do follow a
Okay.
Doom 2 total conversions. Ooh.
If you put I don't know if anybody if chat knows this, but if you put Doom 2 and you're running it in it used to be called, if you're running it in GZ Doom or whatever, the one that basically turns it into a modern shooter, goddamn, dude.
Oh, okay, hold on, guys. I do have to mention, if we're talking about 40k-ish games, Marauders finally dropped a trailer like 2 weeks ago. And Marauders is going to be an incredibly 40k game.
I haven't played Hedon yet. I need to. That's like one of the only sort of indie boomer shooters that came out in the last few years that I haven't played. The only reason I haven't played it is because I know that it's kind of short. So I've been prioritizing other stuff.
I am going to...
Freddy's 40,000. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's 40k is a funny sentence, but for future reference, when you're shitposting that somewhere else, don't abbreviate the number. Just call it Five Nights at Freddy's 40,000. That's ideal comedy gold right there.
Yeah.
I know, I'm the professional.
So I'm gonna post the Marauders trailer in the link in the chat for you guys. This game is gonna be. This is one of those games that's about as fucking 40k as it gets without having 40k on the title.
Honestly, even with Kirby, like, anytime you're doing a meme, I think just doing the full number makes it the funniest.
Yeah, Kirby 40,000 is way funnier than Kirby 40k.
Even just like hearing it out loud is making me laugh.
Due Process, if you guys are into like sim style shooters, Due Process is basically 40k Arbite is the game.
Very funny that Gelato Beach, for whatever reason, is just notorious for having some of the most annoying shines.
I really like that mirror platform. That must have been fucking crazy to make work with the technology that was used for this game.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like they're just rendering the same thing again, but with a lower resolution.
Right. But it's like actively reflecting because you move it and it's like updating.
Well, it's reflecting, but it's like an illusion because it's just rendering. It's like a camera that's rendering visuals in like in the opposite direction at a lower resolution, so that it doesn't slow down like the game.
That's still super neat, though.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good effect for sure.
I'm gonna be honest. It's really easy to make me just throw off a bunch of games that all have like 40k vibes. Like I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it out loud. I'm gonna say it with my chest. Dead Space has really good 40k vibes.
I feel like Warhammer is just one of those things where it's so influential in like the nerd space that it's hard to get away from how many things are inspired by it.
Yeah, no, I think you're correct there. Oh, duh! The Battlefleet Gothic Armada games, guys. If you wanted good 40k games, Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 is a fucking masterpiece.
What were you saying, Emma?
I'm back.
Oh, you were gone this whole time? I thought you just like fell asleep again.
Yeah.
Could you imagine her staying quiet for that long, just sitting here?
Yeah, well, that's why I thought she was asleep.
Oh.
Last time I was on the stream, I fell asleep for an hour while still on like the voice channel.
Also, Tim, Chaos are the good guys, and you can't change my mind. I'd do Chaos in 40k. I mean,
the whole point of 40k is that there are no good guys.
Yeah,
that's
I was about
joke.
to say. The entire point of 40k is that there's not really a single good faction.
Ooh, I got a 2-for-1 there.
You can argue about which faction is less evil.
Dude, you got a 2-for?
I want to play... Well, okay, before I play Shin Megami Tensei, I need to, like, research how they work, right? Because what is, like... if I just start with whatever is the most modern one, or whichever one is the best one, is it going to make any fucking sense, or am I going to need to, like, play them in order? Like, does it matter at all? Is there anything I need to know about Shin Megami Tensei before going into it? Because I am interested in them conceptually. Like, am I going to need to play any, like, Persona? Because I know that Persona is, like, a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei. Okay, so now my next question is, how many of them are there? Is there 3 or 4? Or more?
This Trenchfoot game looks really dope, actually.
I haven't looked into Trenchfoot, but I've heard a couple people talk. Okay, there's 5 of them. Okay, which one is the best, most coherent, like, version of the franchise? Do you know what I mean?
Ooh,
Yeah, I feel like Shin Megami Tensei 3 is the one that most people talk about. So that was kind of where I was thinking about starting.
Light some incense and some candles and cleanse the energy in my room.
Hell yeah, dude. Get those vibes up. Get to the higher vibrational frequency. I saw a guy, I follow a UFO Twitter guy, and he tweeted recently that climate change is actually the result of Earth transitioning to a higher vibrational frequency, so it's heating up. Awesome. What an awesome thing to say.
I thought you were gonna say it's the result of bad vibes, dude.
No, it's the result of good vibes, apparently.
The vibes are too good.
Yeah. I don't remember how to get on top of this little boy here. Don't clip that. Do not clip that.
I want to advertise a game that I'm super stoked and looking forward to, and it's an indie title, and I've told Jacob about it, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. It's called Sulaco, and it's a retro shooter, or it's like a retro, or like a new retro shooter. You know what I mean? And it is looking insanely crispy.
Fuck. Does the shine? Am I goofing this?
It looks crazy good.
Dude, I'm gonna make Earl Grey tea using my moon water and see if the vibes.
Do it.
Selaco, Sulaco. Definitely look it up. They've got a Steam page. They got a Twitter that posts really great update clips. It's looking fine. They're taking. They basically described the game as like what happens if you took Doom and Fear and combined them together.
Okay, I'm sold already. Deal. Guys, I was not paying attention to where that shine went. Was anybody paying attention to where that shine went? I thought it was on top of the tower. It was not. I was probably shitposting. I was probably laughing at Kirby 40,000 or something.
Also, Poppy Peppy, it runs off GZ Doom, yeah. They're using GZ Doom to power what's effectively a Fear spiritual successor.
Oh god. I think I just hit mode on this controller. I mean, on this sanctioned GameCube controller. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing weird about this is happening. Oh no. What am I doing? What did I do? This cursor on the screen is the Nintendo mouse for the GameCube. There we go. It went into the... I don't know what a Kanoma is! I'm white! What is that, a bodega? What is that, a kiosk? What is that, a fucking gazebo? Okay. Oh, right, I remember now. Jesus Christ.
G-Suave, it's not a bit we're doing because it's funny. It's like when people say a crime and then they say in Minecraft to legally cover their ass, dude. Come on. Catch up.
Jacob, what do you know about like different tarot card spreads? Do you just know the basic like
the only one that I ever really fucked with was the relatively basic 3-card spread, but there's some fucking nutty like 30-card spreads that are really complicated.
Yeah, the other day I did a 12-card spread. What is that called, Sarah?
The Celtic cross spread?
Yeah, the Celtic cross spread.
Yeah.
How many cards?
I've
15?
seen that before.
What? Is this a basketball team, the Celtics, or do you mean a Celtic?
7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10.
Okay, so 10 cards.
I thought that Celt was the correct pronunciation, and most people say Celt, or is it the other way around?
It is. Celtic
It's
is
no.
the correct.
Celtic is the correct pronunciation. Celtic is a basketball team.
Okay. I can never remember which one is right.
There's an 18-card spread, which is called the Deity Dossier, which is basically when you feel like a deity is reaching out to you, you do the spread to figure out who it is, what their intentions are, and it's 18 cards.
I've seen... There was one that somebody fucking showed me that was like... It was like some sort of like life spread, and it was like 30. And somebody said that they got it one time at a tarot reader, and it took like 2 hours.
Yeah, but anyway, I did the 10-card spread, and I got 3 out of all of the 10 cards. I got 3 of the major arcana, and they were all reversed. I believe it was the Tower, the Star, and
The Moon.
maybe it was the Moon. I don't remember what the third one was, but I was like 3 all reversed. Something's fucking up my vibes right now.
Yeehaw, boys.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
People who don't read reversed tarot cards are cowards, dude.
True.
You're missing out on half the fun if you don't do the reversed ones.
Dude, I have 3 different tarot decks.
Dude, my man's wild, man. Is he gonna go back here again? No, I don't think so.
I have my first tarot deck ever bought was that one I showed you that has the cool artwork on it. And then I have like the normal one, what is that called?
Rider-Waite. It's Rider-Waite
Yeah.
Smith, actually.
I have one of those, a Rider-Waite decks. But I got it from someone supposedly it was cursed.
Yeah.
And then I have one that is a draw your own tarot, color your own tarot. So it's the Rider-Waite, but it's just outlined,
that's
so you can color it yourself.
Did he like switch spots? I don't want to go over there and have him switch again. He's coming back. Maybe he isn't.
Curtis
Dude,
left goddamn onion rings here.
I am only just now discovering how many games are made for GZ Doom. Dude.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's like a full-on game engine.
Like, we can get in some dude. I'm wondering what like the widely considered best ones are, because like I'm genuinely curious to try some of this out.
I'm a big fan of the Doom 2 Clusterfuck mod pack, which is a nightmare, but on purpose.
Jacob, Tim, make a GZ Doom game.
Dude, developing on that engine looks like hell.
Well, okay, I know nothing about game development, and I can tell you right now that if Tim made a GZ Doom game, it would go one of two directions. I would either make a 40k Imperial Guard game, or I would make a Clone Wars game.
Ooh, I like the Clone Wars game. That's fun. What is my take on Reversed Tower? Okay, shit. I haven't done tarot stuff in a while. So there's like 3 primary ways that you can read reversed cards. One of them is just do the opposite. So if the tower is like some earth-shattering sort of catastrophe that's about to enter your life, then the opposite of that would be something like life-changing, but in a positive direction, entering your life. The other way you can do it is receding energy. So if somebody gets the upside-down tower, that could be like the after effects of a tragedy that already happened is leaving their life.
I'd say that's the way I read that one.
And then the third option for inverted cards is reflecting it internally. So if you get the inverted tower, you would say that you're going to get some sort of like crisis, but it's going to be like an internal struggle, like within your mind, and not an external one.
Reading directly from the booklet that my tarot deck comes from, I would do the one where it's not necessarily opposite, but like whatever the second example you said was. But this is what my book reads for the reverse tower. It says this upheaval may not quite rise to the level of crisis, or perhaps you are unwilling to admit that it does. You may cling to the status quo even as its pillars crumble around you. While this setback could have been worse, returning to business as usual will invite further chaos. A fresh perspective is required. So that reading it that way would say, like, if you don't change your views or perspective, you are going to come to a crisis.
Hang on, I have multiple takes that I need to tackle in the chat right now. Number 1, will I ever do a video solely on tarot cards? No, if I was going to do a video like that, it would be about divination in general, and I would talk about tarot cards. One of these days I want to buy a very obviously cursed object. One of my absolute heroes, Greg Newkirk, will tell you, never buy cursed objects. The Newkirks run the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal. They have one of the largest collections of allegedly cursed objects on the planet, and here's what the deal is with cursed objects. If you find somebody who believes they are in possession of a cursed object, they will do one of two things. They will either do literally anything to get rid of it, or they will not part with it under any circumstances. If you find somebody who is selling a cursed object, that is a scam. That is not how people psychologically treat objects that they actually believe to be cursed. Whether taking whether or not curses are real off the table. If somebody believes they have a cursed object, they will either fucking throw it into your hands as quickly as possible without any money being exchanged, or
that's how I got mine.
Or they will never get rid of it for any amount of money.
Yeah, so the person I got mine from, first time ever hanging out with them, didn't even really know them. They were just like, I was talking about tarot, and they were like, hey, I have a deck you can have, like, for free. You can just take it, right? And I was like, oh, cool. Like, what kind of deck is it? And they told me it was the Rider-Waite deck, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, do you just not want it anymore? And he's like, oh, no, it's cursed. Like, and the next time we hung out, they brought it to me.
I thought I was going to accidentally Mr. Magoo my way into getting one of the most annoying shines in the game first try by accident, but that was not the case.
Also, Entra saying do it or puss. I can't do it, dog. I don't know anything about coding or making a game at all.
I cannot stress enough, as somebody who spent some time learning game development, like, as a hobby for a couple of years and was, like, genuinely, like, getting into figuring out how to develop stuff. Video game development is the hardest form of, like, art, period. If I wanted to make a movie, if I wanted to make, like, a dumb short film, that wasn't good, if I was only concerned with like getting a product made, I could film a movie literally on my phone, and it would like there would be something to that. When it comes to making a game, even like just something short that you can like upload on itch.io, it's so fucking complicated. Like it's nuts how difficult game design is. The fact that games even come out at all is a miracle.
Like, my girlfriend does coding, and she doesn't even do specifically video game coding, and, like, what she does UI coding. That's what she does for a living. She does, like, UI-specific coding. What she does is fucking sorcery to me. If I were going to try and make a game, I would be a concept art and ideas guy.
Yeah. Tim unironically is a pretty good 2D artist, so, like, he probably could actually do concept art pretty easily.
Dude, we could do a collab. I love art.
So, astrology, I'm not a big fan of astrology in terms of just, like, the signs that people talk about. I'm a fan of astrology as the original Hermetic science, where you're doing, like, full fucking detailed descriptions of, like, not only your sign, but also what the moon is doing, what all the planets are doing, like where the constellations are. Like, if you're going to do astrology, you need to go hard on it, or I'm not interested.
Yeah, I don't want to just know your sun sign, what you were born as. I want to know what your rising is. I want to know what your moon sign, your Mars sign. I want to know everything.
Yeah.
Like, I really like astrology as in the old fucking days of the Hermetic science, where a king had, like, an astrologer, and that astrologer was, like, a legitimate full-time scientist whose job was to fucking be mapping the cosmos and trying to figure it out. That shit is dope.
So my sign, I am a Capricorn sun and moon with a Cancer rising, and my Mars is in Pisces, which Mars is your planet of aggression, and Pisces are typically more aggressive. So yeah, it kind of explains that. But yeah, I have like a full spread on all of mine. My Saturn, my Neptune, everything. I have a full spread of my chart.
Yeah, this is the shit that I like. I think astrology can be used as sort of a divination technique, which I think is the most useful thing for all of this shit, whether it's astrology or tarot cards or scrying orbs or scrying mirrors or pendulums or like whatever the type of technique you're using.
I'm big on pendulums.
They're really useful for sort of creating an environment where you can get outside of your own head and make decisions in a little bit less biased of a way. Because then you can you can sit down and consult the star chart and be like, okay, what is my like shit looking like today? And then you can use that to sort of like get out of your own brain and try to make decisions based on it. Like,
I use my pendulum all the time, and I don't know, I believe in astrology, but I also don't believe in it, like, when people are like, oh, I'm just being a bitch because we're in Mercury retrograde. No, that's not, like, it doesn't affect that, you know, that's just not how it works. Like, you know, I'll wake up, like, after, like, a week of having, like, severely vivid dreams, and I'll be like, what the fuck, and I'll look up and see that, like, we're in some sort of retrograde, and then I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I'm also, I'm a big believer in the collective consciousness and like so Rupert, a lot of people have called it a lot of different things. Some people call it the collective conscious. Rupert Sheldrake calls it the morphic resonance. Roger, hang on, I have his name written down. Notes on my phone here. Michael Persinger. He thought that it had something to do with the Earth's magnetic field because the Earth's magnetic field has enough energy to contain. It has enough energy to run not only every human's brain on the planet, but every human that's ever existed. So he thought the magnetic field had something to do with it. So I'm a big believer in the theory that it could be possible that all human consciousness is being drawn from the same pool, which is a big reason why I identify as a Gnostic primarily. So theoretically, and Michael Persinger had a lot of really wild studies where he would track what the Earth's magnetic field was doing, and he would track how it affected people who claimed to be doing remote viewing. And one of the trends he found was when the remote viewing results were at their best, it was when the magnetic field had the least interference. And there was one guy that he did studies with that was a particularly good remote viewer, and they actually did scientific measurements of the magnetic field around the guy's head, and his brain was affecting the magnetic field locally in space around his skull. So he was convinced that it had something to do with the Earth's magnetic field. And if you're going to buy that theory, then maybe there's something to the idea that if Saturn or Jupiter are in a weird position in the sky, it could affect people's brains just enough to, like, increase the percentage chance that you're going to have some sort of a nightmare, right?
Yeah, and my biggest thing is, like, the science behind all of it. Like, you can't, like, it is scientifically proven that everything within the Earth, every living thing has energy, and that energy cannot be destroyed nor created, and it will just completely recycle all the time throughout, like, people dying and being born. Like plants and everything. Like, everything has energy, and, like, that's science.
If somebody wants to look up, or if somebody wants to see some really, really, really good, like, actual legit university level studies on, like, this type of stuff, look up the studies done by the Division of Perceptual Sciences at the University of Virginia. They have some really good stuff. There's also a parapsychology division at, I believe, the University of Edinburgh. It's one of the big ones in the UK.
Oh, okay. Well, my question to you, Jacob, is what is your take on, like, astral projection and, like, as far as it going, like, communicating with other, like, aware beings within
I think if people are doing astral projection, I think what that probably is a more advanced version of the same thing that remote viewing is. I think they're the same thing, would be my guess. As far as, like, communicating with stuff, I'm mostly interested in people communicating with stuff on psychedelics, because that's something that's demonstrably provable. Because if somebody could maybe, theoretically, enter a meditative state and do astral projection and commune with something. I don't know. They might be doing that. I have no way of proving that. But the thing about psychedelics is, if you give somebody a breakthrough dose of DMT, the statistical odds of them reporting that they met a deity are very high, and you can do that to anybody. So that makes it, like, a little bit more scientifically verifiable. The same thing with, like, giving somebody a really high dose of mushrooms and having them have, like, experiences, or just any of the psychedelics, really. I think that's the most interesting way to go after it.
So, lucid dreaming is similar to astral projection, but not quite the same. So I have fairly often had lucid dreams, like, not naturally, where, like, I don't expect it and then it happens, but also where I plan it, like, plan out.
One experience where I did a lucid dreaming technique and figured it out, and I got another one where it happened by accident, but lucid dreams are very weird.
Yeah. So I have been trying to do astral projection because I am easily susceptible to getting lucid dreams. And I'm going to do it.
Antros, I'm a big so there's two sort of, like, bifurcations of people who which shine is this? People who like psychedelics in terms of mysticism, and people who don't. The ones that do, like Terrence McKenna, for example, who is one of the all-time fucking psychedelic maniacs. The thing that they liked about it is the same thing that I like about it, is that it's relatively predictable, relatively controllable, and it sort of acts as a shortcut. Other people will tell you, no, this is all invalid, and what you actually should be doing is working on some sort of disciplined practice so that you can, like, get a relationship going with a practice and, like, build a framework and build a whole thing, and it's like some lifetime pursuit, and you're supposed to be doing, like, a discipline. Whenever this topic comes up, I'm often reminded of the old Buddhist story of there's a Buddhist monk, and he has been practicing meditation for his entire life, and he's gotten to the point where he's so close to enlightenment that he can levitate. And he hears that the Buddha is going to visit his village. So the Buddha is at his village, and he goes up to the Buddha and he says, Look at this. Like, I've followed your ways, I've practiced everything, and I've gotten to the point where I can do this. And the guy levitates across the river. And then he comes back to Buddha and he's like, what do you think? And all Buddha says is, yeah, but the ferry costs a nickel. Right? And I think that's where psychedelics can potentially be placed in this conversation, is people don't have enough fucking time to be building these, like, complex meditative studies, but everybody's got 15 minutes to get ripped on DMT and see God. So I think there's a valid place for psychedelics in mysticism for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've always been able to recognize, like, especially as a little kid when I was dreaming. I haven't been able to more recently because I just haven't been practicing, really. But as a little kid, I was so prone to having nightmares that I started being able to wake myself up from them. Like, I'd be able to realize, okay, this isn't real, and I would wake myself up. And from that, I was able to then recognize, okay, well, I'm in a dream. I could wake myself up, or I could just stop all this bullshit and do what the fuck I want.
Yeah, lucid dreams are usually get less common the older you get, unless you're like, I mean, it depends on the person, and also you can, like, do techniques that actively make them happen more often.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, the younger you are, the easier it is.
Dreaming occurs when you are in a cycle of REM sleep, but, like, so your body falls asleep, but your mind is awake, is what happens. As you're in REM, so your eyes are, the rapid eye movements are what create your dreams, basically. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do. You said that, I'm not against them, but they should be used as a supplement. Yeah, so Terrence McKenna has a really famous quote where he said, psychedelics are a consciousness expander. They only work if you have a consciousness to expand. So, like, yeah, you need to have some sort of, like, theory or some sort of idea to, like, build off of it. You can't just get high for no reason and expect that to, like, do something. But also, you say that you've had experiences, plenty of mystical experiences with no psychedelics. I can tell you right now, the psychedelic experience is going to surprise you. Like, I don't care. I don't care, like, what experiences you have. I promise you, you will be surprised.
Yeah, it's really wild, especially if you have them with somebody else. Jacob and I have had a couple of psychedelic experiences together that, like, were really crazy by themselves, but the moment we started comparing notes is when we really started going, oh god.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking wild. Yeah, you can post a relevant Rain World quote, that's fine. I've never done DMT. It's on my list, but that's not one that I've done.
Be like in their dreams, and they'll say people in their dreams, okay, this is just a dream, and they all are based for evil, or people will say, like, don't say that.
Man, I forgot how fast this game moves. I did not expect to get this far in like an hour and a half.
Joe Rogan types think that psychedelics are a replacement for legit theory. Well, it's easy for them to reach that point if you are someone like Joe Rogan, who's basically just a gorilla.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of
Joe
people...
Rogan is walking living proof of the stone monkey theory.
Yeah, the last living member of the lineage of monkeys who evolved from eating mushrooms on the African savanna is Joe Rogan. Well, I don't know. I think that if you have any level of respect for the psychedelic experience, you will sort of accidentally arrive at theory. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're if you're respecting the process and you're like let's say you're planning a big mushroom trip, like it's gonna be a 5-grammer. The whole point, you're gonna want to clean your house. You're gonna want to like set up some like incense and some lighting and get the vibe going. You're gonna want to take a shower and like clean yourself. You're gonna want to either fast or eat really healthy. You're going to want to take a bunch of like psychological steps to get yourself into a good headspace. You're basically doing a ritual. So like if you just have respect for the process, you're sort of accidentally committing ritual magic without realizing that you're doing it.
So the Morpheus priest, like your dreams, like you're saying you have like wacky dreams, right? Like the thing about lucid dreaming is you don't have to make it wacky. Like that's the thing about lucid dreaming is you are aware that you're in a dream, and it's almost like a meditation. You can use it as a form of meditation. You can use it to like create a space that is calm and quiet that gives you the opportunity to like meditate. It's the same with like how people will tell you that hypnosis, like an hour under hypnosis is equivalent to 8 hours of full like a REM sleep. Like you can do that while like when you're lucid dreaming, you don't have to like make yourself fly or do all this crazy shit. Like you can use it as a form of meditation as well.
Yeah, because if you've never lucid dreamed before, it takes a lot of focus to hold on to it. So I would imagine that even like getting it, because I've had them before and they're really tough to hold on to and they kind of fall apart without like a great fucking mental effort. It's a very weird feeling.
If you get too lost in your lucid dream, you will no longer be lucid dreaming. Like it will just become a normal dream.
Usually what happens, the first time I did it, I was like doing an actual lucid dreaming technique, and I wasn't expecting it to work. I was expecting it to be bullshit. So when it worked, it freaked me out so bad that my body just like immediately woke up on reflex. And then the second time it happened to me, relatively recently actually, it just randomly happened, and I was like, oh sick, I'm lucid dreaming again, and I didn't even like expect it, and I was like, okay, I gotta focus and like hold on to this. And it sort of just faded away over time into me waking up.
Jacob just casually said, respect the process.
There's something Antra said a minute ago. You said you've met people personally who started with psychedelics and arrived at legit theory because of it. Yeah, so my hot take is that a lot of mysticism was probably originally inspired by psychedelic experiences first. When you hear stuff about like the Eleusinian mystery cults or evidence of like Stone Age people using mushrooms, I have a feeling that a ton of existing mysticism derives directly from the psychedelic experience.
Oh, yeah,
I'm pretty sure. There's no real way to prove it, but if I had like the fucking universal text in front of me and I could like look it up, if I had like Google God edition and I could look up whether or not that was true, I'd bet money that it probably is.
So the Morpheus priest, you saying that you feel like you have a deity or someone watching out for you? Like the thing about deities is like you could, but they will only typically a deity will only form a relationship or bond with a quote-unquote mortal, like human being, whatever, if it's also beneficiary towards that deity. Like they aren't just gonna like randomly like look out for you because they think you're a cool dude.
Hell
like,
yeah, dude. Are we going back to fucking like just Hellenistic style like polytheism where like the gods are kind of assholes and you have to be careful? That's the best kind.
Where they're just like, petty bitches.
It's a deity. You think that anything that a mortal being has is gonna benefit, like that doesn't benefit them, is gonna be worth their time? I mean, no.
Yeah,
like
very true. Also, just as a fucking side note, since I have like an audience of people who will listen to me, I need to put out the disclaimer. Don't do psychedelics if they're illegal where you live. Don't do them if you're under the age of like 25, and if you're going to do them, look up all of the fucking safety procedures and don't be a dumbass. Because
Also,
it is...
Take those
read
safety
about how
procedures
it can
very
affect your
seriously.
medication. Serotonin syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah, be very careful about... There is heavy debate on whether or not taking psychedelics on an SSRI actually increases your odds of serotonin syndrome, but just fucking be careful. Don't take them if you're on lithium, because that could kill you. Because, let me tell you, this shit is not like smoking weed. It's going to blow your mind out, and you, like, need to do the prep work to be able to do it.
Like,
do not be one of those fucking
safety measures.
Do not be one of those fucking ding-dongs that buys fucking 9 grams of mushrooms in a back alley and then goes home and is like, this is probably 1 dose.
Yeah,
So,
don't do that.
G-Swab, your question about them directly interacting with the world, are you meaning like worldly type, like people, like deities affecting the weather, or are you talking about the world as in like the population, like people?
This is where we
'Cause, I
get
mean-
into that. This is where we get into that really weird territory where it's like, if you believe in something hard enough, it just sort of becomes real anyway.
Yeah.
Like
So,
if you genuinely
it-
believe that like seeing a rare type of bird outside is a sign from Jesus Christ, then it kind of is. Like
Yeah.
you're sort of manifesting it yourself.
So, the thing about deities and gods is like different cultures and religions and spiritual groups have different deities and gods that they believe in, right? Like, so one culture might have a deity that they believe can mess with the weather, can change the weather, right? Another might not. So it just depends on what culture you're reading into. So, one I was reading about one specific deity, and I can't remember if it was Norse or not. Pan?
Pan is an extremely fucking complex deity that, depending on who you ask, has just been sort of around in paganism for a very long time. The name Pan started, I think, from the Greeks. Pan is the dead god.
So Pan is one that, according to myth, or not necessarily myth, but according to certain beliefs, if you see him with your own human eyes, you will go insane because of how he looks. Like, he is so, like, scary and frightening that you will actually go insane.
I
if
think
you
you're talking
physically-
about the version of Pan where Pan is used as the word, the all, and not Pan as in the funny little goat man. I think there's a difference between the two.
Pan,
So, hold on.
well, that's
There's-
my point. That's my point. Is Pan in one spiritual group is the funny little goat man, but to another
Yeah, it's the
is
all.
all. Like it just depends on the
Emma-
culture that.
Have you watched Hellier yet?
No.
Bro.
So,
Okay.
hold on.
Your
There's
homework assignment is to watch Hellier. It's free on YouTube.
Okay.
There's a couple of comments I do want to address. Antros, you are absolutely, based on what you said, yeah, really glad we did that disclaimer. You are exactly the kind of person who really should just, like, wait until later in life. Because as it stands, you're not in a good, like, with what you said above, you're just not in a good condition to do it. So wait until later in life if you are interested at all. Like, you'll be, like, you're going to grow up, you'll be fine.
Thank you, Altermind, for the subscription, by the way.
Yep. Altermind forgot to turn off auto subscribe. Thank you very much. We gotta. I want to come up with like a funny fucking something as funny as. So I know you don't think very highly of Hassan, as
No,
far as like his comedy goes.
I like
Hold on,
Hassan.
let me.
Okay. Well,
Let me
I'll
get this
let you
out.
finish. Yeah.
He does have a very funny bit where every hour on the hour he does a 60-second ad break, and he
Yeah.
will always try to transition into it with the stupidest, most buck wild transitions to catch his chat off guard every single time.
That's pretty funny. I don't have a problem with Hassan conceptually or like the work that he does, and it's probably good that we have a large, handsome Turkish man advocating for politics that are more or less good. I mean, he's got some spicy takes, just like we all do.
Yeah.
But more or less good. And I've heard some of his like rants that are funny. Like I think he's funny. I think it's important to be very introspective about the type of shit political communities are doing, how much of it is working, how much of it isn't working, and like, just to fucking keep tabs on it. You know what I mean? Like, you always want to be like skeptical of yourself and like the community.
I'll definitely use this moment to preach to chat a little bit that like it doesn't matter who you like to watch on Twitch when it comes to politics. Like when I start streaming, you can come to me for politics, and I'll tell you this on my stream too. It doesn't matter who you listen to when it comes to politics. If you actually want to make a difference politically, get involved with your local shit.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a long time.
Don't be a Twitter politics dude. Just get involved with your local stuff. It will always serve your community better than whoever you watch on Twitch, no matter what.
Yeah, that is a fact.
Like
people get so fucking turned up over this shit online, and it's like, okay, dude, if you actually care about this stuff, join like your local DSA chapter. Go like get involved with trying to get like people who don't suck locally elected.
Dude, Antros, I cannot emphasize enough, Jacob's politics that he says on this stream the few times he talks them are exactly the same as the politics he has IRL. You're not getting Jacob any differently when it comes to his politics. He's the same guy. Like, he's the same guy. I go out of my way to try and keep my shit toned down because there's been a few times on Jacob's stream where I go buck wild and I know he doesn't like it.
Me and Tim have arrived at relatively similar conclusions, but I'm a lot more diplomatic than Tim is. Tim's mad.
Yeah, that's actually a very good way of saying it. Oh, hey, our boy Hayden showed up.
Oh, dude.
Yep. But what if you're really good at sucking? What if they're really good at sucking? Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, my goal is to not... I never want to turn into, like, a sort of YouTube and or Twitch, like, lizard person influencer. My goal is to be, like... Because everybody is doing a little bit of a performance when they're in front of a camera, when they're on a microphone or whatever, but my goal is to be as close to myself as possible. Like, there's probably nothing... I would never say anything, like, in public that I wouldn't defend in private, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's
how it should be.
I can confirm for you guys that all of his takes and all of his opinions and his general performance that you see here on stream is basically just how the dude is IRL.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, when I'm hanging out in the stream, like, chatting with Jacob on here, it's literally the same if I was, like, on a phone call with him.
Well, it gets...
Or in...
I think that's why fucking a lot of the times you guys will, like, accidentally slip up and use, like, a real name or, like, name drop a place that we're next to. Because, like, it doesn't feel like I'm streaming. It feels like you're just talking to me and you forget.
Yeah. I think the least... If you want to use the word genuine, I think maybe the least genuine person in the stream is probably me, and that's just because I tone myself down.
Will this give me 5 minutes of health? I hope
I'm
so.
pretty crazy whether it's in a stream or not, so...
That gave me a little bit of health.
No, I tone myself down a lot, out of respect for the fact that it's not my stream.
Yeah, Tim is definitely mad online sometimes, I'll tell you what.
Jacob lets me get the demons out sometimes, but like I try to do it less than I did when he first started streaming. Because early on, the first couple of streams when you guys first got to know me, I would let the demons out like every 5 minutes.
I don't have to let them out, they've already taken over.
It's got the chaos in the soul, I mean, a little bit.
This is the Dark Souls of Mario.
While he's here, I'm going to take the opportunity to plug Hayden. You guys
He
should
gets
go watch
mad
his
every
stuff.
time we
He's
do
pretty
that.
talented.
He just posts links to my shit.
No, I know. That's also part of why I'm doing it. I know he doesn't like it, but not in like a.
Kind of like how we thank Justin for his service to piss him off.
Yeah. It's good for him.
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah, he's doing it again.
By the way, I just like keep getting more Twitch followers for some reason. Like, I'm just not expecting that to happen, but it just keeps happening. I don't know where they're coming from. They must not be posting in chat very often. I cannot believe I just no-scoped that motherfucker. I did not know he was there. I mean, I definitely knew he was there. That was a calculated speedrunning tactic.
Yeah. You definitely opt his ass.
Yeah.
I feel like the few times I'm on stream, like, I'm pretty good with being on stream because I keep myself toned down for the most part in front of most people.
Wait, hang on. Is that Emma? What?
That's Sarah.
Whose voice
That's
is
Sarah.
Oh.
That's Sarah.
Sarah's doing the thing that Emma does when we're doing the podcast sometimes, where Emma's like, no, I don't think I'm going to sit in this time, and then like...
Sarah sounds like...
I've only done that once.
Sarah
No, I
sounds
know.
like fucking like Bizarro Emma, where it's like almost... It sounds like if there was like a shape-shifting mimic that was taking Emma's form and couldn't quite get the voice right. Like, they sound so similar to each other.
I like to jump in. Emma doesn't like me to jump in, but when the few times I do jump in, though, I'm pretty good with not name dropping or like saying places. But that's because I don't do it in public or like in private either. Like if I don't need to use someone's name or a name of a place, I don't.
Aiden says, I always wonder why people put on
Yeah, I was
such
reading
drastically different personalities on media in which the end user buys in the product personally as opposed to taking it as a fictional medium. The context of YouTube and Twitch are the appearance of being genuine. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard to avoid taking advantage of the parasocial relationship.
Well, also, the other thing we need to consider here is that if your genuine personality sucks, you've got to make up a good one. So, like, there's a lot of people out there that are just reptilian assholes that have to make up a, like, more personable type of personality to make up for the fact that they're a maniac.
Dude, that's how
but then you've got
me in a relationship.
Yeah.
Well, but then you've got guys who, like, do the opposite. They, like, double down on all their worst tendencies and make it into, like, a character.
Yeah, that's true.
A quote-unquote character, you know?
Dude, I just want
There's a
to point
couple
out
of those.
that so the reason that, like, the one podcast I sat out on but then trying to talk through, the reason I do that is, like, a weird, like, anxiety thing I have where, like, you know, like, I really enjoy artwork until it becomes, like, a job. Like, which is why I'm mission. Like, until it becomes, like, something I have to do. Like, when we're just doing the podcast and we don't really have a plan and we just kind of sit down and talk, I can do that just fine. But the second it becomes like, okay, well, now I need to research this so I can do this, then I was like, fuck no. You know, it was an anxiety thing.
Right. Also,
That's the
no,
same
Hayden,
result that a lot of people have.
that was absolutely not pointed at you, dog, although I know you're making fun of me to make me feel guilty. If you actually want to know, I was subtweeting Dr. Disrespect. He's a piece of shit.
Dr. Disrespect is Tim's pet favorite to hate on. I think the ultimate, and I can sort of talk about this guy because he's kind of like dropped out of the content creation sphere and is sort of broadly understood to be not a very chill dude by most people, so this is a very low risk opinion. I think the ultimate example of a guy who was doing a quote unquote character as being an asshole, but then turned out to just be an asshole was Athene. The old, he started streaming World of Warcraft, and then later on transitioned to other stuff, like doing a crypto scam and a weird cult.
I think the other good example of that is the Nostalgia Critic guy, Doug.
Yeah, well,
Doug, from what I understand, from what I've heard of people who've interacted with him IRL, like obviously secondhand information, Doug is also just like a lizard.
I mean, I would expect Doug to be weird because his character is also like his on-screen persona is like weird and off-putting.
Well, it's not just that. It's when you realize the things that he thinks are important and worth talking about.
Yeah.
Like when the wall video is the ultimate example. I know it's the easiest video to use to make fun of him.
Yeah.
But the wall is an excellent example of just his absolute lack of any ability to have like introspection at all.
I remember listening. I remember when the wall, when Doug Walker's masterpiece, The Wall, dropped, and people were talking about it. I thought it was like one of the videos he did in like 2012. And then I looked it up and saw that it came out like 6 months ago. And I was like, yo, what? That was fucking crazy.
Speaking of like crystals and shit like that, I know I'm kind of going back to what we were talking about. I've been inviting you. You should go to the next metaphysical fair in our area with me.
Yeah,
you and Amanda, and if Tim isn't working, are totally welcome to come. It's a fair, and they invite a bunch of different people. Like, they even have like, she's there pretty often. She's a pet psychic. Like, they have Reiki workers or light code workers. They have.
Is how that's pronounced.
Reiki, yeah, tarot readers, like a bunch of shit. And
I like going to those, but I don't like buying anything at them.
Oh, and there's
the cool thing about. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
We have to leave for the movie theater in like 15 minutes, but there's one or two other things in the chat I wanted to get to before we leave. The first one, which I feel like I sat on for a little while, is Hornbeetle saying that like it's cool that we're chill and cool, but we're making money off producing content, so we're not really like friends with the followers. And like, yeah, you basically just described a parasocial relationship.
Let me tell you though, making money is a little bit of an overstatement.
Yeah, making money is a bit of an overstatement, but I definitely want to emphasize that like we enjoy doing this and we enjoy you guys, but we're not a replacement for like making friends and getting involved with like your local, like the internet obviously is like a great place to meet good people, but like also, you know, I'm trying to find a nice way to say make sure you have IRL friends and a support structure to rely on that isn't a bunch of streamers you like.
Touch grass unironically.
Yeah. But politely.
Yeah, genuinely, please, I'm asking you. I'm advising
So Jacob,
you.
the next fair is the 16th and the 17th. So next weekend.
Oh fuck!
Near
that
me.
reminds me. I need to message Bethany.
Yeah. Hayden, I don't remember the name of the movie we're going to see, but it's about some lady in Macedonia who gets kidnapped by a witch. It's like a foreign film.
And the cool thing is, I don't think he's gonna be there this weekend, but one of my favorite guys is like he does like the light work for like, and it's by donation. Like you don't have to pay him. Like, and there's a lot. So there's gonna be a lady who's a light language art, so she does tarot and light language. There's gonna be a lady who does palm reading and aura reading. There's gonna be an oracle and tarot card reader. There's going to be a spiritual, intuitive, visionary artist, so she draws
Yo,
things.
that's a title.
There's going to be a guy selling amulets and oracle decks. There's going to be multiple Reiki workers, and this one also sells tea. And then there's going to be someone who does chakra readings, makes decals, and water bottles.
By the way, this reminds me, this gives me a extremely good opportunity to transition into a very important core belief, a core part of my belief about the paranormal. A real sort of like, not, I shouldn't say real because that has implications, but a genuine paranormal investigator will not charge for their services. If you think your house is haunted and you want a guy to come check it out, people who like are actually interested in trying to help you will not charge you. That this is an established sort of unwritten rule in the paranormal community.
Yeah. Now remind me, Ed and Lorraine Warren, did they charge?
They didn't charge, but the problem with Ed and Lorraine Warren, I think I've talked about this on stream before, they were really easy to dupe, they fell for a lot of hoaxes, and they also looked at everything through an extremely Catholic lens. Which is not good. Tim, are you still in here?
Yeah, I'm here. I wanted to reply to a couple of other things in chat, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys because I had done that a couple times already, so I was just typing out responses.
After I get this shine, we're going to have to end the stream because we're going to have to start the process of waking up Amanda.
Yeah, we got to wake up Amanda and go to the movie.
That's going to take a minute. I don't think I need to go up this. I think I can just go across.
Wait, you guys are gonna
Can
come
you
home?
get the deeds for the
please?
shroom disclaimer again? Okay, yes. Don't do it if you're on... Don't do it if it's illegal where you're at. Don't do it if you are below the age of approximately 25. You want to have a fully developed brain anytime you engage with psychedelics. Don't do it if you are on multiple mood changing drugs, things like SSRIs or lithium. Especially don't do it if you're on lithium, because mixing mushrooms and lithium can literally kill you.
Yeah, well, not just mushrooms, but all of the tryptamine-based psychedelics. So mushrooms, LSD, DMT, and peyote.
Yeah, that can all kill you if you mix it with lithium, so don't do that, definitely. And otherwise, check out all the safety steps that are involved with a trip and any particular substance. And I mean this earnestly, take all of those safety tips seriously.
Yeah.
Anytime someone has a safety tip, that safety tip was written in someone else's blood. Either literally or metaphorically. Like
mostly metaphorically, because nobody has ever died from any of these substances directly.
Yeah, no one's ever died, but like it's like that saying every safety sign is written in blood. Just, take that seriously, keep it in mind.
Yeah.
I also want to add, this isn't a necessity, but it definitely helps if you're with someone who is like either experienced or someone who's not going to be partaking as well.
Having a trip sitter is very important.
Make sure it's someone you trust. Make sure it's someone who, like, I know some of you guys have friends who are like the kind of pricks who are gonna fall to temptation and like trick you or prank you. You do not want that kind of person in your environment. No friends who are gonna get their jolly little rocks off by fucking with you.
You have to be with
not the environment
for sure. Carver, you always show up right when I'm going to end it, dude.
I think he does it on purpose.
No, it's because he lives in fucking like what is that place that China's mad at all the time?
Oh, Tibet?
No, the other one.
Hong Kong?
Nope. Taiwan. That's the guy.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
You guys are gonna come back from the movie, and I'm gonna be sitting on your floor with all the cats circled around me, all staring into the orb.
Yeah, they're all levitating. All right. Here we go.
Well,
boys.
you know the rules. They don't go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, no levitating with the cats outside. All right, I'm ending the stream.
What if I bring more cats inside?
No.
Yeah, we don't have enough room.
Yeah, we don't have the space for that. This house is at capacity.
You guys already probably fucking know that I'm on YouTube. YouTube.com/ProbablyJacob. I have a bunch of game reviews there. I'm currently experimenting with different types of content. I will actually, surprise announcement, I will have kind of a game review-ish type video coming out on the 14th. So go there. I'm on Twitter no, this is not a mod. I'm at Twitter at ProbablyJacob.io. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/ProbablyJacob, where for as little as $2 a month, you too can have access. You too can have access to exclusive podcast content. The podcast also has free episodes, which you can find anywhere there are podcasts around, except Spotify. And I'm probably not going to put it on Spotify until somebody gives me a really convincing argument. I think that is everything. Also, join the Discord, because the Discord is one of the best ways to get updates and notifications on what I'm doing. And I'm also in the Discord all the time, so you can yell at me and give me your opinions on dumb bullshit. And I'm forced to listen to it. I'm obligated to. I'm the only moderator. I have to moderate it.
Also, sub to Ramsa. Sub to Hayden.
Yeah, also do that. Goodbye, and thank you for
coming.
Bye,
everybody. Thanks for coming by.
Hey, Tim.
Hold on, I'm not done streaming yet. Don't say anything weird. Don't say anything fucked up. Wait for the all clear. Wait for the all clear. This is a whole process.